Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. I am your host, Gershwin, and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we continue talking about Imperial Guard regiments as we get into another viewer request, the Brontian Longknives. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We post Warhammer 40K content every single day. And don't forget to check out the channel because we have a huge archive of just bunch of lore videos on Warhammer 40K, so check us out. You might already have one that you would like to request. You can watch it now. But with that said, let's get into 40 facts on the Brontian Longknives. The Brontian Longknives are a highly disciplined regiment of the Imperial Guard, conscripted in large numbers from the hive world of Bront, located within the Golino Reach subsector of the Calixis sector. The hive world of Bront is known to be a particularly violent place, yet possesses a level of order and discipline not found on many of the hive worlds of similar population density. One of the younger hive worlds in the Calixis sector, Bront was founded almost a decade after the end of the Angevin Crusade, as a result of the 33rd Army Group, the last of the Crusade's forces to be demobilized as the sector fully established itself in the Imperium of Man. While not originally a hive world, Bront was swiftly industrialized and was reclassified by the Administratum as a hive world within a mere 1,000 standard years of its founding. Bront's populace was formed from the descendants of the countless thousands of Imperial Guardsmen and their families who were originally drawn from dozens of different worlds, who had been brought together by the shared experience of conflict. Brontian regiments are proud to continue in the martial traditions of their ancestors, fighting for the Imperium as their ancestors did generations ago during the Angevin Crusade. With the Calixis sector still considered relatively young and wild, Brontian regiments are most frequently deployed to relatively local conflicts, from the brutal insurrections of the Meritech Wars to the mutant uprising on Trank and the 47 Capella pacification. However, an increased number of Brontians have seen action in war zones further away, particularly with the needs of the Margin Crusade increasing with every passing year. When Duke Cerberus VIII annexed the worlds beyond the periphery subsector in the Severan Dominant, Bront increased its recruitment rate, offering a greater tithe of men to the Departamental Minitorum and to Lord Sector Marxus Hax, in order to punish his transgression against the labors that their ancestors bled for. Dozens of regiments have been thrown to this conflict every single year, and this seems unlikely to cease as the conflict of the Spinward Front continues to seethe. The population of Bront have strong traditions of military discipline and ancestral ties to the Imperial Guard, with old regimental affiliations forming a system of clan houses. These clans form the heart of the Brontian society, maintaining ancient traditions from their ancestors' distant homeworlds and instilling a deep sense of loyalty and duty to the God Emperor in its people. However, the military traditions that define Brontian culture also ensures that the clans work tirelessly to be ready to defend the Imperium, as their ancestors once did. Disputes between clans are resolved through ritualized mass battles, favoring an assortment of blades over pistols, rifles, and other ranged weapons. These ritual battles typically leave little more than scars, which are worn openly whenever possible to display the warrior's victories and losses. And every Brontian warrior knows and can recount the history of every one of its scars. While most scars are regarded as a sign of experience and honor, a few are viewed with scorn. Scars upon a warrior's back are universally regarded as dishonorable, whether from the bite of a lash to punish a criminal, or from the edge of a blade when fleeing from battle. Cowards are ill-favored in Brontian society, and seldom rise to achieve any worthy status once marked as such. The people of Bront grow up surrounded by crowds in the hive cities, and they are used to weaving through even the densest mobs with ease. Brontians seldom endure the horrors of open sky, or suffer the indignities of the greater outdoors. When recruited into the Imperial Guard, Brontian Longknives are deliberately drawn from multiple clans, with individual companies, platoons, or even squads, all holding different ancestral affiliations. This means that each Brontian regiment represents the world and its people as a whole, rather than any one element of it, and the bonds of bloodshed formed during the ritual battles hold these groups together in spite of their differences. The Brontian knows to respect those he faces in battle for the death they can deliver, and the warriors of other clans have been faced many times. Individual Brontian guardsmen are still known to bear their scars openly, and carry their favorite knives about their person, adding new blades to their collection with every campaign survived. A Brontian soldier's experience can be seen in the scars on his arm, torso, and face, and in the knives strapped on his armor. Brontian officers are known to carry the tradition a step further, with an array of swords worn on their belt and over their shoulder, and their scars used to help determine their worth as frontline leaders. Rare is the Brontian officer who achieves a significant rank with dishonors marks upon his back. Brontian regiments are most commonly infantry, mechanized infantry, or light infantry, with Brontian armored regiments being extremely rare. The Brontian preference and talent for close assaults are ill-suited to armor or artillery regiments, and are better served being placed at the front lines, leading assaults with bayonet charges or ambushing enemy patrols with blackened knives. Some notable exceptions exist, such as the famed Brontian 82nd Armored, whose Lehman Russ Demolisher squadrons were found at the heart of the fighting, pounding enemies and fortifications alike at close range. To understand the ferociousness of the Brontian regiments, we must look at the 4th Brontian Long Knives. They are a veteran regiment that had served the Imperium across multitude battlefronts over the past 25 years. During that time, they have proven themselves repeatedly against Xeno and heretic forces. Their preferred heavy weapon is the autocannon, while their favorite assault weapon is the melta-gun. Only their command squads are officially assigned Chimera transports. Platoons are disciplined to maintain daily marches of 30 kilometers or more under conditions of lighter resistance for weeks at a time. Only in situations where troopers need to travel more than a week's march are they assigned transport. Due to the harsh conditions on their positioned world of Scrine and the limits of support from the Imperial Navy, the regiment has been forced to convert civilian vehicles for extended troop transit on several occasions. Once pressed into service, the regiment assumes full responsibility for keeping these vehicles fully functional over an extended period. As a light infantry regiment, the 4th Brontian Long Knives are well suited to combat the native orc population. Due to the planet's low mineral content, those orcs are relatively poor armed and have few examples of the race's characteristic vehicles. Sending them to combat such a foe may have been a deliberate choice based upon the High Command's historic knowledge of Scrine. Unfortunately, the orcs associated with War Boss Tough Gob are capable of fielding a substantially higher number of vehicles, most of which they brought with them aboard their rocks. This has led to many situations where the regiments have had to depend upon the efficiency of their melta-guns against the orc vehicles. Culturally, the Brontians are extremely disciplined during military situations, but tend to cut loose when on leave or even just off duty. They are generally a garrulous lot, who are friendly towards outsiders, as long as the outsiders give the appearance of being capable warriors. They look down on those who lack the necessary discipline or talent to be effective warriors. This regiment is also a particularly superstitious lot, as they have seen a number of unholy and unnatural events during past battles against heretical foes. A less proven regiment might even have been disbanded or sent on a suicide mission, as the mere knowledge of some of these events could lead to heresy. The current Imperial Guard regiment, designated as the 5th Brontian Long Knives, are the 4th to bear the name and traditions, commanded by the daring and charismatic Colonel Ion Dunach. Mustered with the establishment of the Spinward Front, the 5th Long Knives have served primarily on Kull as part of a counter-incursion force based in Fort Drusus, pushing back against orc assaults wherever they occur, with little respite between individual battles. As a frontline assault force, the 5th Brontians have suffered extensive casualties during the years of warfare, but their renown and continued success have seen them bolstered by the remnants of other Brontian regiments. To date, 16 other Brontian infantry regiments have been consolidated into the strength of the 5th Long Knives, creating a force forged by brutal warfare into a brotherhood of hardened veterans. Famous for leading the forlorn hope against the orc stronghold on Tyra, Colonel Dunach is a man for whom the horrors of war serve as little discouragement. Ambitious, but with the will and talent to support his aspirations to glory and renown, Dunach's rise to command on the 5th Long Knives has seen the regiment placed at the forefront of the onslaught against the orcs, taking their knives and swords to the greenskins' flesh. The colonel and his regiment has received several commendations from high command in the Spinward Front for shattering orc bulwarks and crippling greenskin offensives, and they have gained a reputation as some of the most foremost close-quarter specialists amongst the Imperial Guard regiments, staving off the devastating advance of War Grimtooth. The soldiers of the Brontian 5th, informally called the Scarsowers, are a proud example of their world's warriors, strong, quick, and deadly with a blade, loyal and unquestioning, and courageous in the face of the enemy. Their honor is without question, and their knives without mercy for the enemies of the Imperium. And those were 40 facts on the Brontian long knives. I hope you guys enjoyed the lore on this Imperial Guard regiment. If you guys have any suggestions for other Imperial Guard regiments, please comment down below. And don't forget to check out our playlist on the Imperial Guard. We have other regiments that we already have talked about, and the lore videos are there for you to see right now. So be sure to check out that playlist. If you guys enjoy our videos, share them with your friends. If you have a friend who wants to start Imperial Guard, this is an excellent example of a really good regiment for you to send them so that he can convert some Catachan maybe into the Brontian long knives. They would look pretty badass with scars and huge blades running around. Again, if you do like what we do, support us by liking, commenting, and sharing. You can jump on over to Patreon. A simple $1 a month helps us create more videos. And now it's time to announce the winners of the giveaways that we had during the Thanksgiving holiday that we could not mention because Thanksgiving happened. So the winner of Necromunda is that guy. And then we were also giving away an awesome Space Marine Captain Special Edition. It only comes out whenever a GW store opens, and we were able to pick one up, and we were giving it away. So the winner for this Space Marine Captain is that guy. Now, if you guys are the winner, please email us at onemindsyndicate1@gmail.com or hit us up on Facebook. Or you private messages here on YouTube as well. Get a hold of us, give us your mailing address, and we'll ship you your prize. Thank you so much for participating. If you guys did not win, don't worry. We have another giveaway coming very, very soon. And again, thank you so much for supporting us and just being awesome and listening to our lore videos. With that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.